This GeographyBurst video focuses on the upper course of a river. You should use page 118 to 119 of your textbook to support this video. We will look at the landforms that occur in the upper course of a river, waterfalls and gorges, as well as V-shaped valleys and interlocking spurs. Firstly, we need to describe, say what you see. What are the key facts which you know? Outline them clearly. So firstly, we must describe the upper course of the river. On the diagram on the left, which is the long profile of the river, the upper course can be seen as the first third of a river closest to the source. So the river is flowing over a steep gradient. It's flowing very fast due to gravity forcing it down the river quickly. And the main process that will be occurring in this part of the river is erosion, mostly vertical erosion, which is central to the formation of some of the landforms which we'll see shortly. Next, we need to explain, which of course is say what you see plus why it is the way that it is. You should outline the reasons for events or facts. So the first of our landforms are V-shaped valleys, as you can see an example in the picture. These form through vertical, so downwards erosion. Of course, erosion is the process that's occurring most in the river in the upper course. So erosion is happening vertically, and over time that means the valley gets deeper and deeper as the river cuts into the land. The V shape in the valley comes from the weathering of the top edges of the valley, and those will then slip inwards, creating the V shape that you can see. Next, we have interlocking spurs. As you can see again in this picture on the left of the slide, the spurs are the pieces of hard rock that the river hasn't got enough energy to erode yet, because it's still relatively early on in the course of the river. There's not that much water in the river, so it will weave its way around the harder rock, favouring to erode out of the way the softer rock. So the river weaves around and creates this sort of interlocking formation. If you look at it from above, it looks like fingers that are interlocking, hence they're interlocking spurs of hard rock. Thirdly, we have waterfalls. So waterfalls, again found in the upper course, are when the water flows over bands of hard and soft rock. Of course, the soft rock will erode more quickly as it's less resistant to erosion than the harder rock. And over time, that will cause a drop in the river channel to form. As that drop becomes deeper and deeper, as the soft rock is becoming eroded more and more quickly, eventually a plunge pool will be created at the foot of that drop, which will increase erosion. Sub-processes of erosion will start to occur in it, such as hydraulic action, when the water forces its way into the cracks, and abrasion. Any material that's been loosened further upstream will then fall into the plunge pool and scour the bottom, making it deeper and deeper. The erosion will actually continue down, but actually back on itself as well. So erosion continues and begins to undercut the hard rock that the water plunges off. That creates an overhang of this hard rock. So that process will continue. It will undercut further and further back until the overhang is sticking out too far and it's heavy and will eventually fall and drop into the plunge pool. At that point, the position of the waterfall will move backwards and all the processes will start again, leading to the formation of a gorge over time. If this happens many, many times, the waterfall moves back and back and migrates further and further upstream. What we're left with is a steep-sided narrow valley, which is downstream of the waterfall, and that is created a gorge. So this brings us to our exam question and model answer. So this exam question is: explain the processes involved in the formation of a waterfall and gorge, worth 6 marks. So firstly, we need to describe what those two landforms are. A waterfall is a landform found in the upper course of a river, where erosion is the main process occurring. A gorge is a steep-sided, narrow valley that is found downstream of a waterfall. And then we need to explain how these landforms are formed using the processes. The main processes involved in the formation of these two landforms is erosion and its sub-processes. A waterfall forms when water erodes soft rock more quickly than hard rock, and a drop in the river channel forms, creating a plunge pool. Hydraulic action is responsible for deepening the plunge pool as water cascades over the waterfall to the rock below. This also means that water in the plunge pool will have more energy for abrasion, as rocks that have been weathered and fallen in scour the bottom of the plunge pool. Erosion also begins to undercut the overhanging hard rock until it becomes too heavy. Further processes of chemical and biological weathering attack the top of the waterfall, which results in the overhang dropping into the plunge pool and the position of the landfall moving upstream. As this cycle continues, the retreat of the waterfall leaves downstream a steep-sided, narrow valley called a gorge. Geography. Know your world.